watching KWQC TV, the news leader, making a difference in the Quad Cities. Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center in downtown Davenport with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, an opportunity to own rare coins, antiques, and collectibles. We'll preview an upcoming auction at Rock River Coins and Jewelry, a family-owned business. And they've served our country. Now it is our turn to serve them. We'll learn more about an important upcoming event offering direct help for veterans, transitioning service members, and their families. Plus, Nelson Chiropractic is here with a powerful, multifaceted approach to one of the most common patient complaints, knee pain. Hello and welcome to Quad Cities Live. It is Wednesday, June 18th. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Morgan Otier. Well, this Saturday marks the grand opening celebration of the new Ecdysiast Arts Museum. It's a one-of-a-kind space dedicated to preserving and honoring the history of burlesque, an art form often misunderstood, but rich in storytelling and empowerment. And the woman behind this project is already known to millions as a fan favorite on the hit show American Pickers, but her passion goes far beyond antiques. Today we want to welcome Danielle Colby. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So Danielle, Ecdysiast Arts Museum. Yep. Let's start with that. We were just talking about this before the show started. What does Ecdysiast mean? What's the background on the word?
So Ecdysiast was a word that they used to use in the old-timey newspapers, right?
Okay.
To promote burlesque. And so we really stuck with that word because it's a beautiful word and it really explains well what we do. And it's, you know, it's a welcoming word, I think.
Yes, I love it. It's unique. I think it really draws people in for sure. This is a very personal project for you.
True.
So talk a little bit more about what inspired you to create a whole museum.
So I've been with American Pickers for 17 years now, 16, 17 years. And during that time, I've had the incredible privilege to be able to collect as much burlesque history as possible. And this is a kind of our opportunity to let the world see the collection, what we've been doing for the last 17 years, and yeah, just share a bit.
Amazing. Well, right now on the screen, we've got a photo actually of you.
Oh, that is me.
So burlesque is near and dear to your heart. It's something that you have been involved in for many, many years.
True.
So talk a little bit more about just the history and honoring the performers. That's a big reason why you wanted to start this museum.
Absolutely. I think oftentimes when people think of burlesque, they kind of have one thing in their mind. It's the only thing that they've ever seen or heard of. And it could be different depending on who you're talking to.
Right.
So this gives people an opportunity to really come in and understand what the world of burlesque is about, what it's adjacent to, what it can do for community, and what it can do for ourselves as well, just as femmes or as people in the industry. Yeah,
absolutely. So often seen as entertainment, of course, it is very entertaining. There's a deep historical, cultural dimension to it. I mean, you just talked about the word Ecdysiast and how it was, you know, used in old-timey papers and things of that sort. So talk about kind of how the museum really explores that balance between history, but also entertainment and fun and enjoyment.
Yeah, great question. Because we have to strike a balance.
Yeah.
Because as history moves and changes, our lives move and change, and the art moves and changes. So what's really cool is to come in and look from the left side, go around the room to the right side, and you start in the 1800s, and then you end in modern day. So basically we're starting with early circus and burlesque items from Lily Langtry, from Josephine Baker, Mae West, Sally Rand, they're actual items. And then we go through time to like the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and you know, visit Lynn O'Neill and Tempest Storm and Kaiva and Hetty Jo Star. Burlesque costumers and burlesque performers alike. Yeah,
very, very cool. And you actually, you brought some items with you here today. So these
Well, I brought these because oftentimes people want to know how to shimmy, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you how to shimmy. All right?
Shimmy. Okay.
Pop on a belt, you choose a color.
Okay.
All right. And then we'll stand.
And you might be hearing this off in the background as well because you've given my daughter one of these and she's playing with it. right now.
All right, so you just pop it on. You can kind of put it where it's comfortable on you.
Okay.
I like to kind of let it sit just a little bit lower.
Okay.
And this is really simple. It's really fun and easy.
Okay.
So if you want to learn just like a basic burlesque shimmy, it's very much like a belly dance or Rex shimmy, right?
Yep.
So you want to start by like popping your right hip up.
Okay, I'm still tight.
And then while you pop your right hip up, you bend your left knee.
Okay.
Right? And then pop back.
Okay.
And then back.
I can do that.
And then back.
As long as we do it slowly. We've got the chiropractor here today.
Right?
So,
so you just kind of let it work for you.
Yeah.
And that's really what we're doing when we're creating that kind of sound. And you can kind of like really get it going. But yeah, it gives you kind of a little bit of an idea of what it's like to shimmy. And if you're having issues with like mobility, then you can just give it a little shake this way.
You're amazing. A big part of this too, I mean, I can't wait to go and see just all the beautiful costumes and everything like that throughout the years. Very cool. So you talked about a lot of collecting over the years with American Pickers and beyond. I mean, what is that, did you start to get the idea to build something like this many years ago? Like, when did this come to you?
So, let me get rid of that sound for you there.
It's okay.
So what happened is I started burlesque here in the early 2000s. So I started that type of work in about 2006. Okay. And it just kind of grew into burlesque, and then burlesque really started hard and heavy for me in about 2008, 2009. Yeah. And this area here went crazy for it.
Well, we still have,
right?
We still have it, and they're like the groups that are doing it are doing a wonderful job. Yeah.
And the groups that are doing it, I taught most of them.
I know that.
And that's the part about it that I come back and I look and I see they're still doing it.
Yes.
You have like Red and Kitty Review. You have Mac DeVille. You have Mary is doing her thing too. So you have a lot of these performers that kind of came from that spot from my classroom, and I get to watch them.
It's really, really amazing.
I get to see them on stage, and
that's very cool. Yeah. Okay, so the grand opening of the museum is this Saturday. It's much more than a ribbon cutting celebration. There's all kinds of stuff going on inside. So what can people expect when they purchase tickets to this? So
when you purchase tickets, it includes all of your cocktails for the evening, and it also includes a beautiful museum tour that's given by myself. Yeah. I'll host the event. And then we have one of my great friends from New York, Minnie Tonka, who's a wonderful burlesque artist who I've really learned from through the years. She'll be joining us. Wow. And then Julieta from Puerto Rico, and Madame Nymphea from Puerto Rico, and Zaradka Tonic from Chicago. And then we also have Dahlia Dutch, Desdemona, and Jem Fatale from here. Wow. So it's nice because we get a little bit of like international flavor, a little bit of like countrywide flavor, but we also get our wonderful performers here as well.
How are you feeling? I mean,
I feel amazing.
Yeah,
I feel very proud. I feel very excited. I feel like this is what I can contribute to our community, where people can come and educate, celebrate, and you know,
it's exciting as our arts scene continues to grow that this is an art that we can include in that. Here's the information on the screen for anybody watching. The Ecdesiast Arts Museum is located at 322 Brady Street in downtown Davenport. That grand opening is set for this Saturday, June 21st. Doors open at 6, the museum tour begins at 7, and the show starts at 8. To get your tickets, visit ecdesiastartsmuseum.com. Congratulations, Danielle Colby. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. And still to come on QCL, a family-owned business is looking ahead to its first in a series of live auctions. Kyle Keel joins us live from Rock River Coins and Jewelry next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Coins, jewelry, antiques, and collectibles, that and much more is what you can find at Rock River Coins and Jewelry. My co-host Kyle Keel is joining us live from the shop in Moline. And Kyle, there is a lot there to check out.
Yes, a lot more than just the coins and jewelry, as you mentioned, Morgan. We've got footballs, we've got classic albums, an Elvis Presley album that you're going to see here, a record, in just a moment. And this is all put on by the owner of Rock River Coins, and he joins me now. We're joined with Rich. And tell us a little bit more about Rock River Coins. You're about to celebrate your 2-year anniversary, and this is a family-owned business.
Correct, yeah. July 10th, 2023, we opened business in Silvis, Illinois. Last October, we had the ability to get this larger location and open. So right now, July 10th will be our 2-year anniversary on the business, yeah.
Okay, so as we mentioned, it's obviously you've got the coins in your name and the jewelry, but as we see behind us, it's much more than that.
Yeah, we buy a little bit of everything. We buy collectibles, antiques, we buy sports memorabilia, comic books, Pokemon cards. We're kind of a little bit of everything. We have a great online business as well.
Yeah.
We sell on whatnot.com.
Okay.
And we do eBay also. We sell on eBay also. And yeah, we have a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you certainly do. I got a little bit of a peek before the show, and you definitely have that. The Pokemon really sparks that nostalgia. A lot of the Elvis records will spark the nostalgia as well, so you'll kind of go back to your childhood, I guess, as you come in. So right now we're looking at some of the coins, and let's focus on gold and silver because the prices of that have been fluctuating here the last couple of weeks. What does that mean for you, and what does that mean for people who are looking to buy or sell those?
Well, like I tell everybody, it's always a great time to buy. You can always buy, even if the high prices are up right now, but it's still going to go higher. They're using more and more gold and silver every day in all the electronics and batteries and things like that, and that's just going to keep pushing prices up. It's a time to invest.
Okay.
It's a great way to hedge inflation. If you're in your golden ages and you want to start cashing in, it's a good time to do that as well because it is at historic highs right now.
Okay.
So it's kind of good for both investing and selling, both, and we do both. We provide a service to sell you the items, and we also purchase the items. With gold and silver jewelry, people have necklaces and bracelets and things in their dresser drawers just laying there. We buy that. Scrap gold. Scrap gold is at its highest right now.
Oh, okay.
And right now is a great time to buy. If you've got something laying in your kitchen drawer or your bedroom drawer and you haven't worn it in 10 years and you want to get rid of it and turn it into cash, it's a great time to turn it into cash right now.
Yeah, that's very important to note because you'll take broken jewelry, broken items as well.
Yeah, broken, anything that doesn't fit anymore or out of style. If it's something that we can retail, we pay a lot more for that. But if it's just scrap and we melt it down, we take it to the smelter and melt it down, we pay about 80% of the value of that. We have to make a little bit to stay in and keep the lights and gas on, but we pay very well, and that's one of the reasons we've done so well in the last 2 years. Just in 2 years, we went from a 800 square foot showroom to an 1,800 square foot showroom here in Moline.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it's definitely a great statement for our business, our family. We're very well known in the Quad City area. I was a police officer. I retired. My mom and dad were business owners and auctioneers. I'm an auctioneer, and I'm well known in the area.
All right, so we've got the website with the information on your screen. Rock River Coins and Jewelry, located 4740 38th Avenue in Moline, just off of John Deere Road. And coming up in the next half hour, we're going to get a look at a couple of bronze statues and also talk about a live auction happening at the new auction house in Silvis, Illinois. So you won't want to miss that coming up in the next half hour of Quad Cities Live. But right now, we do have some reports of funnel clouds in the area. So we want to head back to the First Alert Weather Center with meteorologist Kyle Dickens, who has details on that. Hi, Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle, if you're here in Scott County, I know you are hearing these tornado sirens, or the storm sirens, I should say, going off. We're looking off to the north here. This is our Davenport Skyview camera. And we're not really noticing much more than some ominous skies right now, but off to our, off to our west, moving east, we've got a line of storms that we're watching pretty closely here. And at times there's been some reports of some funnel clouds. That is why the Scott County emergency managers have decided that, hey, we're going to sound the sirens. So you're hearing those sirens. There is not a tornado warning at this time. But again, within this complex of storms we're seeing here off to the northwest, they've noticed some funnel clouds. The environment that we are in is not conducive for any type of long track or destructive tornado. What these would be is kind of your brief spin up. If they even make it to the ground, they're going to be pretty brief and overall fairly weak. So we're right now, again, not under a tornado warning, but you are hearing those sirens. Good bet to move indoors as these storms do approach. Again, right now with what we're seeing here on radar, it's kind of a weakening deal here. So not the greatest storm threat, but overall, again, we could see some funnel clouds. Some were reported, and we're getting some pictures in too that we'll share here over the next several minutes here. We'll be able to share those, and also on social media as well. You can see a bigger complex of activity. We've had some tornadoes out here into central Illinois, but the threat is about to end here once this line does move through. So we'll be watching that very closely. We had a tornado watch, but that has now shifted off to the south and east. No current watches or warnings besides a special weather statement that is in place here for the eastern counties. So we'll keep an eye on it here. Again, storms will be moving through. You're hearing those sirens because of some reports of some funnel clouds. Right now, no tornado warnings, but we'll keep an eye on it here in the First Alert Weather Center.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Still to come on QCL, a powerful two-day event that's bringing life-changing services directly to thousands of area veterans, all under one roof. Details next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Nearly 20,000 veterans call Rock Island and Scott counties home, with thousands more in surrounding areas. With that in mind, the Quad Cities Veterans Experience Action Center will open its doors next weekend. It's a two-day event offering immediate access to essential services for veterans, transitioning service members, and of course their families. Joining us now is Sherry Bear DeVries, Military Program Coordinator at Unity Point Health. Sherry, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this is such an important event, so I'm excited to get into it with you. So what is the Quad Cities Veterans Experience Action Center? Just tell us a little bit about it and really why it is so important here in the Quad Cities.
Well, this event is a major partnership between Unity Point Health, Trinity, and the Quad Cities Community Veterans Engagement Board, which is a military advisory committee of Trinity, and the VA, and then our community. And it's a two-day event from 9 to 3 each day at Blackhawk College in their new facility, Building 3. It's beautiful. They've been great being hosts for us there, and we provide a one-stop shop, so you can come in and get services all in one place from the VA, community partners, employment services, and you name it, and hopefully we have it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, go a little bit more into that and what types of services will be available, because it seems like there's a really diverse variety of things depending on what's needed. I think a lot of us oftentimes just think of this in an employment capacity, but that's certainly not the case here. There's all sorts of things.
Correct. The main draw for the veterans is the Veterans Benefits Administration. They're the ones who can take a new claim or advance a claim. The Veterans Health Administration, we have a lot of service lines coming from the VA in Iowa City, and the National Cemetery will be there to provide information on their burial benefits. But in addition to that, we have over 40 community partners that could be nonprofits, veteran service officers from the counties and the state will be there. They have a lot of knowledge about VA services and the community resources available, and they can help them work through problems.
Yeah.
And
that is so helpful, because I mean, otherwise I feel like it would be so hard to track down the different needs, especially for transitioning service members who maybe this is the first time that they've had to do this, and it can be confusing.
Correct. Transitioning military members are a big part of this, because we want them to have access to the resources that will help them when they decide to get out of service, and whether it's looking for a job or finding their tribe or networking with other veterans and learning what's out there for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that said, there's a lot of services that are career focused, and there are a couple of workshops as well that they can take part in.
Correct. Both days there will be career assistance workshops, one being how to create a LinkedIn profile, a professional one, how to create a resume. They can get a professional headshot taken that day.
Great.
Yes, and everything there is free. They don't have to pay for anything.
Wow.
We will also have some free haircuts, and there'll be food available.
That's wonderful. Yeah, really a one-stop shop for everything. So talk a little bit more about what kind of hands-on assistance is available to veterans right now.
Well, they can enroll in VA health care.
Okay.
They can get counseling. They can get dog tags made if they've lost theirs. They can file a new claim. They can have the VA folks advance their claim, or tell them where they are in the process, what else they need.
That is huge. Yeah.
And in some cases, they have actually rated where they can either get additional money or higher rating, which gets them more services.
Okay. Anything that they need to make sure that they bring to this event? Any like logistical things?
They need to bring their DD-214.
Okay.
And they need to bring any documents that support any claim they might want to be discussing.
Okay. As we mentioned, Unity Point Health is the presenting sponsor for this event. Why is this something that you all find so important to support and get behind?
Well, Trinity has a long history of supporting the military and veterans, and we have the Rock Island Arsenal here. We have National Guard and Reserve units here. A lot of those people stay here when they get out, and we have a lot of veterans living in the region.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
So it is important that we provide that outreach for them and make sure they know how to get the benefits that they deserve and how to get access healthcare, mental health services, and other community resources.
Yeah, incredibly important. So if a veteran is watching right now, or maybe somebody who knows and loves a veteran, how would you encourage them to really consider attending this event?
Well, this is such a great event. Besides just having all of those services available at one time, it is a very respectful, welcoming, positive atmosphere. They can network with other veterans, and we get veterans from all eras. Oh, wow. And we had a large group of women veterans last time in 2023, so we're encouraging women veterans as well. We have a new women veterans of the Quad Cities group, and they will have a table there. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah, all kinds of wonderful things happening.
A wonderful event, and a great chance to be in a room with a lot of people who, have been through a lot of the same things that you have. Well, if you're watching, you want to learn more about the event schedule or connect with the CVEB online, just visit the Facebook page. It's there on your screen. Head to facebook.com/Quad Cities CVEB. You'll find what you need right there. And Sherry, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us all about this great event.
Thank you, Morgan.
We appreciate it. Absolutely. Still to come in our second half hour, A Mission That Matters. We will talk with Seal Family Legacy about two powerful events honoring fallen service members and supporting their children, plus helping patients with chronic knee pain avoid surgery and get their lives back. Nelson Chiropractic is here with a closer look at the team's multi-therapy approach. But first, we've got some storms out there, followed by a stretch of extremely hot weather headed our way. Meteorologist Kyle Dickens will join us with your full forecast next.
Just joining us here, I know a lot of people out and about hearing those I know a lot of people watching out there. You're hearing those sirens right now, and that's because we've had some reports of some funnel clouds. Here's what people are sending in to us. This was taken just moments ago here between Eldridge and DeWitt. Doesn't look like it touched the ground, but yeah, that's a funnel cloud, no doubt about it. So we are watching that. There is no tornado warnings in place at this time, but the Weather Service is watching these very carefully. We're in an environment that we really couldn't see any type of large or destructive tornadoes, so they should remain funnel clouds. That's why the Weather Service kind of holding back on issuing those tornado warnings. Nonetheless, Scott County decided to sound the sirens. That is why we're noticing some storms off to the north here continuing, and you can see an arc of activity here from Cordova to Eldridge. We could see some of those funnel clouds right there moving through, and also off to the west, a whole arc of storms from Conesville up to Muscatine here towards Wilton and New Liberty. Again, we are watching this. There's been at times some weak circulation with that, but not noticing that at the moment. You can see, in fact, as it has progressed off to the east and southeast, it has shown some signs of weakening. Again, within that, we could see maybe one or two funnel clouds. So that is the concern. That's why you were hearing those sirens. And this is all part of a bigger system that has caused some more significant tornadic activity here in central Illinois. That continues to slide off to the east, though. So this is kind of the final swoop of that. And once that moves through this line, we're going to be clear of any significant storms, maybe some isolated activity later. Temperatures in the low 70s with west to south wind here throughout the area, pretty light wind. We'll see those storms start to diminish here as we head throughout the later afternoon into the evening hours. Temperatures dropping here into the low 60s before heading up into the mid to upper 60s. We get through this system and then we embark on this heat wave, big time heat wave that we are expecting once we get into the weekend. Here we are Friday, a weak system moving through that could give us some storm activity here on Friday. Again, it's going to be kind of a watch and wait deal. If that storm system could make its way here, and we could see some activity, going to put a chance of some rain and storms here in for your Friday. But we clear out, heading for the 90s on Friday, and then boy, does it heat up as we get into the weekend. We are talking heat indices definitely above 100 degrees here. We've got an excessive heat watch in place, and look at this, heat index values maybe as high in some areas as 105. So we'll be watching that very closely. If you've got plans this afternoon, we will be dodging those storms, especially here the next hour or so. Temperature wise, again, we're going to drop here into the 60s, so not much of a drop from the low 70s that we are in right now. Taking a look at the 7-day, we've got those first alert days for that heat. We get through this storm system here on Wednesday, today, and then it's just a big heat up. Really all throughout the next 7 days with the exception of today. Dry conditions, so dry, hot, dry in the sense of no precipitation, hot and humid weather is expected. We'll keep an eye on radar here throughout the afternoon. And if we do get any more, any type of warnings or any type of information like what we just showed you with those funnel clouds, we'll certainly jump in and let you know.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And still to come on Quad Cities Live, Gone but Far From Forgotten. We're going to sit down with Seal Family Legacy and learn more about how the organization is supporting Gold Star children with a powerful weekend of remembrance. That's next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Everyday military families carry the legacy of their loved ones who made the ultimate sacrifice. Now, for children in Gold Star families, that legacy is deeply personal, deserving of ongoing care, recognition, and of course support. And that's the mission of Seal Family Legacy, a Quad Cities-based nonprofit that supports Gold Star families across the country. Joining us to talk about two powerful upcoming events is Brandon Meglin, Vice Chair of Seal Family Legacy. Brandon, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me
Thank
again.
you so much for being here. So it is that time of year again. You guys are putting together these incredible events. But first, for folks who may have never heard about Seal Family Legacy, just tell us a little bit about the organization and some background there.
Sure. So Seal Family Legacy is a 501c3 non-for-profit based right here and started in the Quad Cities. And our mission is to raise funds and awareness for military Gold Star families, specifically with children ages 18 and under.
Okay, so yeah, talk a little bit about those services. They are geared specifically toward children and really some of those impactful programs that you offer.
Yeah, so we really have three primary programs.
Okay.
The first one being our Family Endowment Program, where we issue two $20,000 family endowments per year to two very deserving families. Our second program is our Legacy Buddies program. This is really a grant-focused program focused on specific needs of Gold Star children around the country. So things that they're passionate about throughout their childhood. If they want to take music lessons, sports camps, different things that they want to do, and the family needs a financial boost up, we help support that.
That's wonderful, yeah.
And then our birthday card and graduation card program is the third one. So we send each child a $100 check and birthday card on their birthday. We just started doing graduation cards as well, $500 when they achieve high school graduation.
Wow, that is really special and just meaningful, like just a little something to show the support, and it goes a very long way. Now, one of the really impactful things that you all do every year is this upcoming weekend. So I believe it is July 11th is the gala at Rhythm City Casino. So tell us a little bit about that, and then of course following that is the Ride and Cruise event.
Yeah, so July 11th, Rhythm City Casino and Resort. We have a big gala there. We kick things off at 5 o'clock with a cocktail reception, 6 o'clock dinner. We've got a great program lined up this year. Both of the families, the beneficiary recipients, will be in attendance this year, which will be really amazing, really special for everybody that comes out. Get to meet those families, hear their stories, hear about the lost service member. And so they'll be on stage and receive those checks with us. And then we also have Denny Guillamazzo as our keynote speaker. Denny is a U.S. Army veteran. He's the host of the Be the Standard podcast, has an amazing story, a lot of challenges from the time he was born up through his time in the service, really inspiring.
Yeah, you've had really inspiring keynote speakers every single time. I mean, this sounds like it would be no different. And when you talk about the families that are going to be in attendance, so these are the recipients of that endowment that you were describing earlier, correct? Yeah. And do they already know who they are? Can you tell us a little bit about these families?
Yeah, absolutely. So our first family selection is the family of U.S. Army Sergeant Ofren Archaga. Ofren actually immigrated to the United States from Havana, Cuba as a teenager, joined the military immediately after high school. He was tragically killed in March 2011 in a mission with the 101st Airborne Division in Afghanistan. So that's the first family. Wow. The second family is the family of Navy SEAL Stephen Matthew Mills. Okay. Stephen was killed in Extortion 17, which was the deadliest day for U.S. Navy SEALs in our country's history. This was back in August of 2011. He passed away with 29 other service members on that day when the Chinook helicopter he was in was shot down over Afghanistan.
It's just incredibly tragic, and we've anybody who's watching us on air right now is seeing the photos of these incredibly beautiful families. And when you say 2011 and we see this photo of this small child who has grown 14 years, you know, since that happened, it's just amazing that you're able to do this. So that will be a powerful night, of course. And then the very next day is the annual Ride and Cruise event. Yep. So describe that for us, because it is very inclusive.
Yeah. Very great patriotic event. Yeah. We always start this from the Rhythm City parking lot in Davenport. We launch out of there, short ceremony at 10 a.m., leave at 10:30. This year we're going to ride north up to Bellevue, Iowa. It's a really scenic, pretty route going up north there. Yeah. The route is led by, we bring in some retired Navy SEALs. Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic donates some motorcycles. They lead the route. Wow. Boy Scout troops, fire departments come out, fly the flag on the route. It's a really neat thing to be a part of.
Just a feel-good thing to be a part of. Yeah, absolutely. And then you'll make your way back to the area. And this is open, so you don't need to just ride a motorcycle. This is open to all types of vehicles. Very inclusive in that way.
Don't have to have a motorcycle. It's not a motorcycle club. Right. We have a lot of Jeeps that come out, Corvettes, convertibles of all types, any vehicle. It's free. Family-friendly event and something really special to be a part of.
Just join the crowd, absolutely. So for anybody that may not be able to be a part of that, but still really wants to support what you all are doing, what are the ways that they can do that?
Yeah, well, I would say definitely come and check us out at our events, but or just check us out on our Facebook page, SEAL Family Legacy or SEALFamilyLegacy.org. There's lots of ways to donate or even volunteer your time if you can't make it out to an event.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got that web address there at the bottom of your screen. But the third annual Legacy Gala is Friday, July 11th at Rhythm City Casino in Davenport. To purchase tickets to the event or just learn more about the Ride and Cruise on the following Saturday, just visit that website that we told you about, SEALFamilyLegacy.org. Brandon, as always, just a great spokesperson for this event. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Just ahead on QCL, from red light therapy to chiropractic care and cutting-edge rehab, Nelson Chiropractic is seeing real results with their total knee protocol. Learn how local patients are finding relief next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Rock River Coins and Jewelry is kicking off a series of virtual and in-person auctions, offering a chance to own rare collectibles and antiques. My co-host Kyle Keel is joining us live from the Moline shop right now. And Kyle, that first auction is actually set for next Thursday.
Next Thursday will be the first auction at the new auction house in Silvis, Illinois. And Morgan, as you mentioned, there's an online auction that's going on right now. So we're obviously going to get the details on that. And we're also going to get details on these bronze statues. You see one of those behind me, these elk here. So let's talk with Rich again. He's the owner of Rock River Coins and Jewelry. And Rich, we've got some beautiful statues here right as you walk into Rock River Coins.
Yeah, these are solid bronze, and they're sculpted by Fred Hoppe, who is a world-renowned sculptor. Does a lot of the Cabela's sculptures that are out front and the war monuments and things in D.C. He was here about a month or so ago, and he had a display of them, and he left a couple of here for purchase. And they're life-size, about 7-foot wingspan on them. They'd be great for, a hotel foyer, somebody's front of their business, things like that. They last 6,000 years.
Wow.
And Fred said if they don't last 6,000 years, to call him and he'll give the money back.
All right, so if you want to purchase these, because these are, believe it or not, these are up for sale, right?
They are up for sale, yes. They're up for sale, and they're very limited. He's only made 3 or 4 of each statue, and he's no longer creating these statues anymore, so they are all signed also by him, by Fred himself.
All right, and you cannot miss these as you walk into Rock River Coin and Jewelry. And obviously, you're going to see a lot of coins, a lot of jewelry here, but we want to talk about the new auction house, the premier auction house in Silver. And you're going to have your first auction coming up next Thursday.
Yeah, next Thursday night, 6 p.m. It is online right now currently. We're going to do a lot of coin auctions. We're going to do specialty auctions, sports memorabilia, comics, things like that. It's going to be very detailed and oriented. It'll be online. It's premierauctiongallery.highbid.com. And they can bid right now and all the way up through the live auction next Thursday night at 6 p.m. at our old Silvis location.
All right, so how many items are currently on auction for next Thursday, at least in person?
Yeah, 300 lots is the entire auction. We go right through the catalog, number 1 through 300. Our next auction.
Oh, yeah, we got to talk about that one.
Yeah, our next auction we've already have scheduled is a mega comic book, Superman comic book auction from the golden age all the way up to modern. There's over 4,000 comics.
4,000 comics.
And we've collected these for years and years, and it's now time to sell them.
All right, so over 4,000. So that's happening July 6th at the auction house there in Silvis.
That will go live on July 6th for bidding, and then the actual auction, live in-person auction, will be July 17th at 6 p.m. at our location. It'll be spectacular. It's once in a lifetime collection.
Okay, Rock River Coins and Jewelry, located on 38th Avenue in Moline. That's just off John Deere Road. We've got the address there on your screen. You can also visit the website. And of course, we're going to have all of this information on our website as well. Rich, thanks so much for having us down here today. And Morgan, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Well, if you or someone you know struggles with chronic knee pain, then you know how much it can really interfere with everyday life, from walking, climbing stairs, to simply getting up in the morning. But the team at Nelson Chiropractic is taking a multifaceted, non-invasive approach. It's really helping patients get real relief without relying on pain meds or even surgery. Joining me now is Dr. Tracy Nelson of Nelson Chiropractic. Dr. Tracy Nelson, thank you for being here.
Hi.
Yes, I'm excited to talk with you. So knee pain, of course, is something that a lot of people, they really struggle with. Describe first, before we kind of get into your approach, some of the common root causes that you see for that knee pain.
Yeah, there can be a million causes. There can be, misalignment in an ankle can cause knee pain, or hip or pelvis. A lot of times just adjusting the pelvis can take a lot of knee pain away.
Yeah.
And some people don't even know that we can adjust knees.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can you? It is funny, like the times that I've been through chiropractic care, you don't realize how many things are connected in that way. You could have hip pain because you actually have a knee like injury or something like that. It's just really amazing. You really take a multi-therapy approach. So it's your total knee protocol is what you all call it. So what does it start with?
Yeah, so we're looking at the cause of the problem. Okay. So when people get, for example, they get their knee drained, we hear that a lot. Like, that's a lot of swelling. So why is it swelling like that? Because there's misalignment, because there's a massive tendonitis. What is the cause of that? So that is what we go and work on. So maybe there's massive inflammation in their whole body. Maybe there's a tendonitis. Maybe there's a tear. We can assess if there's something that is surgical, and we can refer to that. But we're looking at the cause of it. So, but there's also what's called, this is a big word, right? I think it's on one of the slides.
Yes. Arthrogenic muscle inhibition.
Right.
I wanted to take a crack at it.
I know, it's a really big word. Okay, so what that means is when you have a sprain or an injury in your knee, the circuitry, the nervous system gets a little bit messed up, and those muscles kind of get out of balance, right? So normally your muscle in the front, when it contracts, the muscle in the back of your leg will automatically relax. Okay, so it doesn't injure itself. So when you have an injury like that, it gets kind of all out of whack. So we use technology that kind of uses electrical stimulation to sort of reboot it, reset it, and so those muscles work again the way they're supposed to, and it doesn't put you into, you know, further risk of injury.
Okay, very interesting. So I'm kind of going to go down the list of all the different things, because I think a lot of people will be surprised at all the tools that you kind of have in your tool belt. So obviously chiropractic adjustments is an obvious one. Myofascial release and massage therapy? Yeah,
so myofascial release, so maybe it's an IT band issue. Oh, yes. And it's causing a lot of knee pain. Maybe you know, slipped and fell and strained a muscle that's causing a tendonitis. So we can work on that muscle so it's not pulling so much, which actually does help even a meniscus. Okay. It kind of strains that a little bit.
Okay, and then sticking with some of that technology, so something called shockwave therapy.
Yeah, so shockwave therapy, we had a segment about stem wave. Yes. And what that does is it sends in powerful sound waves into the joint, and it makes your brain think it's a new injury, so it floods it with that massive healing reaction. So it can really help and actually over time cause regeneration. Yeah. It can help heal, you know, a lot of arthritis. It can heal, you know, injuries that you've had a long time that your brain just kind of ignores after a while.
Yeah. I think a lot of us right now are hearing a lot about red light therapy.
Red light therapy, yeah, it's kind of everywhere. And what we use, we have a prescriptive device that you get to take home, that you you know, prescription, and you buy it and you take it home, and it actually over time increases circulation. There's a picture of it. Yeah, so it increases circulation because it increases blood vessel growth. Okay, so over time it's going to have more blood vessels that develop, which is going to help it heal more efficiently.
Okay, and you already kind of touched on this one, which is electric muscle stimulation. So that just can help wake up those muscles and nerves.
It reboots it. It reboots the neurological input to the muscles to help rebalance your joint.
Okay, this I find really interesting. Nutrition can really play a role, and you even help with that.
Yes, so nutrition, gut health, we've talked a lot about too, and gut health is systemic inflammation in your body causes stiffness. We hear it a lot with like their hands, their knees, everything. And so depending on the person, if they have a lot of issues with that, we can really reduce the inflammation. And one of the first things they say is, okay, my knees feel so much better already.
Yeah,
we see that a lot.
That is crazy. Well, that's good to hear. And then corrective exercise. So this is going to be a little different from just your regular exercise that actually may have gotten you in this position in the first place.
Yeah, so naturally the muscles on the outsides of your legs are stronger, and the muscles on the inside, those are weaker. And so if we're using them a lot and whatever, they just kind of naturally get out of balance without like effective, you know, usage of them. So we do a lot of work strengthening the inside, and that helps balance things out a lot. And it's a really common thing.
Yeah, and these different approaches can be combined. Yes. So what are the responses like from patients?
Yeah, it really just depends on what's going on. We've had patients that were due for knee replacement, and the stem wave and different things like that has they're like, okay, I'm not going to do that because now I can literally function. I can, you know, live like that, no pain medication, things like that. So not for everybody. It really depends on the cause, you know, but acute injuries or things that just like, it's not bad enough to, you know, put a lot of effort in. It's just nagging, annoying.
That's great. That is great to hear, a relief to a lot of people. So if you're watching, if knee pain is keeping you from doing the things that you love, you can give Nelson Chiropractic a call at the number there on your screen, 563-359-9541, or visit nelsonchiropractic.com, and you can schedule an evaluation there. As always, Dr. Tracy Nelson, great information, and thank you so much for being here.
Thanks.
Yes, and thank you so much for watching QCL. Your local news at 4 is coming up next.